Welcome to the Unraveling the Scriptures channel. The Balkans is one of the most fascinating and historically complex regions in the world, a land of ancient civilizations, powerful empires, and epic conflicts. But what if I told you that the roots of the Balkan peoples might be found in the pages of the Bible? According to some scholars, the descendants of Noah, after the flood, spread across the world and may have given rise to the peoples we know today. In today's video, we will investigate how ancient scriptures, particularly the genealogy of Japheth, Noah's son, might be connected to the origins of this mysterious region. Could these biblical accounts hold clues about the early history of the Balkan peoples? Stay tuned until the end, as we explore fascinating and controversial interpretations linking the Bible to this enigmatic part of the world. This is another episode of our series, The Origin of Peoples According to the Bible. The Balkan peoples are an ethnic and cultural diversity that inhabits the Balkan Peninsula in southeast Europe, a region historically marked by a complex blend of cultural, religious, and linguistic influences. The geography of the Balkans, with its mountains and isolated valleys, contributed to the development of a wide range of ethnic identities, often in constant interaction and conflict. The Balkans, corresponding partially to the Balkan Peninsula, also called the Hemus Peninsula, is a geographic area located in southeast Europe, with varied geographic and historical definitions. The region's name comes from the Balkan Mountains, or Hemus Mountains, which run through Bulgaria. The Balkan Peninsula is bordered by several bodies of water, the Adriatic Sea to the northwest, the Ionian Sea to the southwest, the Aegean Sea to the south, the Turkish Straits to the east, and the Black Sea to the northeast. The concept of the Balkan Peninsula was introduced in 1808 by the German geographer August Zöllner, who mistakenly believed that the Balkan Mountains were the dominant mountain range in southeast Europe, spanning from the Adriatic Sea to the Black Sea. In the 19th century, the term Balkan Peninsula became associated with Rumelia, a designation for the European provinces under the control of the Ottoman Empire at the time. This definition had more of a geopolitical rather than a purely geographical character, a notion that was reinforced with the creation of the Kingdom of Yugoslavia in the early 20th century. Over time, it became clear that the definition of the Balkan Peninsula does not strictly fit the technical conception of a peninsula. For this reason, many modern geographers reject this idea, although the term continues to be widely used by historians to describe the region. Additionally, the term Balkans has acquired a negative connotation, associated with political fragmentation and Balkanization. In many contexts, the alternative term, Southeast Europe, is preferred. The borders of the Balkan region are frequently disputed due to varying definitions. While there is no universal consensus, the most accepted definitions fully include countries like Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Bulgaria, Greece, Kosovo, Montenegro, North Macedonia, the European part of Turkey, the Romanian coastline, a large part of Serbia, as well as significant portions of Croatia and southern Slovenia. Sometimes, the term also encompasses the entire country of Romania. The province of Trieste in northeastern Italy, though occasionally mentioned, is generally excluded from these definitions. The origin of the word Balkans is uncertain. It is believed that it may derive from the Turkish term balk, meaning mud, combined with the Turkish suffix an, meaning swampy forest. Another possibility is that it originates from the Persian balakana, which means high, great house. The term Balkans was widely used during the Ottoman Empire period. In Ottoman Turkish and modern Turkish, Balkan means a chain of forested mountains. The first recorded mention of the name appears on an early 14th century Arabic map, where the Hemus Mountains are referred to as Balkans. The Ottomans used the term for the first time in a 1565 document. There is no evidence of prior use of the word to designate the region, although Turkish tribes had already settled or passed through the area. During the 1820s, Balkans became the preferred term among British travelers, although Hemus was still in use. In European books printed until the late 19th century, the region was also known as the Illyrian Peninsula or Illyrische Halbinsel in German. The ancient peoples of the Balkans were composed of various tribes, mainly of Slavic origin, such as the Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes, along with Greek tribes and other ethnicities. To understand the biblical origins of these peoples, we can refer to the Book of Chronicles, chapter 1, verse 5, which mentions, "The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras." Chronicles 1:5. Similarly, the Book of Genesis, chapter 10, also describes the descendants of Japheth. The descendants of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. Genesis 10 verse 2. In Japheth's lineage, we find the origin of many of the peoples who composed the Balkan region in antiquity. Whenever biblical texts mention Greece, or refer to this territory, the term used in Aramaic or Hebrew is Yavan, or Javan, in our language. Javan, son of Japheth, is considered the ancestor of the peoples of the Aegean Sea, the ancient Greek tribes, who were among the many peoples that inhabited the Balkans, according to biblical interpretations. The linguistic terms themselves reinforce this association, indicating that Javan was the ancestor of all the Greek peoples and the Greek tribes of the Aegean Sea. From this, we can infer that the peoples of the Balkans and other European groups share this origin. From an academic, theological, and linguistic standpoint, these peoples are classified by two main terms. The first term is Indo-Europeans, referring to the languages and ethnicities of Indo-European origin. The second term is Japhethites, descendants of Japheth's lineage, the son of Noah. Japheth is described, according to biblical tradition, as the ancestor of all European peoples, including the Germanic, Celtic, Greek, Roman, and even Scandinavian peoples, like the Vikings. Furthermore, one of Japheth's grandsons is said to have inherited Asian characteristics, which, according to interpretations, gave rise to peoples such as those of China, Japan, and Korea. These peoples, known for their distinct almond-shaped eyes, are also considered descendants of Japheth. The name Togarma, for example, is interpreted as a reference to these features, meaning broken or slanted. If you're interested in more details about the origins of Asian peoples, we also have videos on the channel about this topic. The Balkan region was the first area in Europe to experience the arrival of agricultural cultures during the Neolithic era. Inhabited since the Paleolithic, this region played a crucial role as a route for the spread of agriculture from the Middle East to Europe. During the Neolithic, two important cultural complexes developed in the Balkans, the Starcevo culture and the Vinca culture. The latter, in particular, made history by developing a form of proto-writing, known as Old European script, which predates even the Sumerian and Minoan civilizations. Most of these symbols were created between 4500 and 4000 BC, with the famous Tartaria clay tablets dating back to around 5300 BC. The identity of the Balkans throughout history has been deeply shaped by its geographical location, which served as a crossroads of cultures. The region acted as a junction between the Latin and Greek cultures of the Roman Empire and was the destination for a large influx of pagan Bulgarians and Slavs. Additionally, it was a meeting point between the two great Christian traditions, Orthodox Christianity and Catholicism, and later, between Christianity and Islam. The ancient languages of the Balkans, such as Albanian, Hellenic and other Paleo-Balkan languages, had their formative core in this region after the Indo-European migrations. During the pre-classical and classical antiquity, the Balkans were home to peoples like the Greeks, Illyrians, Paeonians, Thracians, Dacians, and other ancient groups. The Achaemenid Persian Empire incorporated parts of the Balkans, including Macedonia, Thrace, parts of modern eastern Bulgaria, and the Black Sea coast of present-day Romania, starting in 512 BC. However, after their defeat in the Greco-Persian Wars in 479 BC, the Persians abandoned all European territories, allowing these areas to regain their independence. Under the reign of Philip II of Macedonia, 359 to 336 BC, Macedonia became the most powerful state in the Balkans. In the 2nd century BC, the Roman Empire conquered the region, spreading Roman culture and the Latin language, although large parts remained under the strong influence of classical Greek culture. Of the Paleo-Balkan languages, only Greek and Albanian survived. The Romans considered the Rhodope Mountains as the northern boundary of the Hemus Peninsula, and this line also marked the approximate border between the use of the Greek and Latin languages in the region, later called the Gyrsek line. However, south of this line, many people spoke Romance languages, such as the Vlachs, or Aromanians, who were heirs to the Latin language and Roman culture. Starting in the 6th century, Bulgarians and Slavs arrived in the region, initiating a process of assimilation and displacement of local peoples, who had already been influenced by Romanization and Hellenization. These migrations led to the formation of new ethnic groups among the South Slavs, such as Bulgarians, Croats, Serbs, and Slovenes. Before the arrival of the Slavs, parts of the Western Peninsula were inhabited by the Proto-Albanians, as evidenced by the evolution of city names such as Nisos, modern Niš, and Astabos, modern Stip, which follow phonetic rules of the Albanian language. This suggests that Proto-Albanian was spoken in the region before the Slavic migration. The Balkans have always been a crossroads between East and West, resulting in a rich intersection of cultures, languages, and religions. The region was influenced by the Roman Empire, Byzantine Empire, Ottoman Empire, and various European and Slavic empires. As a result, there is a blend of Orthodox, Catholic, and Islamic traditions, with religious and ethnic tensions that marked the region's history, especially during the Balkan Wars and the Yugoslav Wars in the 20th century. These influences created a rich cultural tapestry but also generated conflicts throughout history, especially regarding territorial and ethnic disputes, such as those that occurred in the 1990s during the dissolution of Yugoslavia. Although the peoples of the Balkans have varied origins, there are some common physical traits, though not universal. These traits reflect the mixture of native Europeans, Slavic peoples, and Mediterranean and Asian influences, resulting in a remarkable diversity of appearances. The skin tone of the Balkan peoples ranges from light to medium, with a predominance of fair skin. In regions with greater Mediterranean influence, such as Greece and Albania, there is a tendency towards more tan skin tones. As for hair, the variations are also diverse. Brown hair is the most common among the peoples of the Balkans, but there is a significant presence of black hair, especially among Albanians, Greeks, and Turks. In Slavic regions, such as Serbia, Croatia, and Bulgaria, one can find a significant proportion of blonde and light brown hair. Hair types range from straight to slightly wavy, with thick and curly hair being more common in the southern part of the peninsula. Brown eyes are predominant, especially among Albanians, Greeks, and Turks, while green and blue eyes are relatively common among Slavic peoples, such as the Serbs and Croats. All these physical characteristics are present among Japhethites, descendants of Japheth, son of Noah. The peoples of the Balkans are a fascinating mix of genetic and cultural influences, resulting in a diversity of physical traits, from the fair skin and blue eyes of the Slavs to the more tan skin and dark hair of the Mediterranean peoples. This region is a true crossroads of civilizations, where physical diversity reflects the rich and complex history of migrations, conquests, and coexistence over the centuries. I hope you enjoyed another video from our series, The Origin of Peoples According to the Bible. Leave suggestions in the comments about other peoples you would like to see addressed in a future video. May God bless you, and see you soon.